So I'm Serge Morand. I'm a researcher, French researcher at the National Center for Scientific Research in France, but also attached to CIRAD. I'm trained in parasitology and in ecology. So when I was young, actually I wanted to be a researcher, a scientist. And I was interested by animals, I was interested by nature, but I was mostly interested by science, and I decided to do science. That's why I'm starting to study at the University of Paris in ecology, and after I moved to do a Ph.D. thesis in what we name ecology and parasitology. I was interested at this time in the parasite of small invertebrates, snails. And you know, on what I used to work on the French garden snails. So I used to work on something that was interesting. We wanted to make farm of snails, because the French, we like to eat snails. And it was the way also to protect the snails in the field, but also to develop new farming system. And with a small new farm, it was quite an innovation. And I was in charge, because at this time the veterinary and the public veterinary said that snails, they are not our work. We are working on cattle, we are working on poultry, we are working on dogs, on cats. We are not working on snails. So that's why I'm starting to work on the parasitology, the parasites of snails, and especially the snails that will be used in the farm system. That was my first experience in research, on my first papers in research concerning the French brown garden snails. And in 2008, people starting to be asked me to come in Southeast Asia to starting to develop a project on the rodent as a source of emerging on zoonotic disease, also in parasitology. And I first met Professor Sataporn in 2008, and that's why we're starting to have a long collaboration continuing until now, when we explore different facet domains in the One Health concerning parasitology, veterinary science, public health, and zoonotic disease at the interface between animals, livestock, pets, and wildlife. It was about the hotspot of biodiversity, but hotspot of biodiversity in danger in the world. And there was only one hotspot, Southeast Asia. Southeast Asia, what is so great or important in terms of biodiversity, in terms of species richness, was the first hotspot of biodiversity endangered. And I realized that maybe there is something together. The loss of biodiversity in a rich region of biodiversity and this new emerging disease related to animals. And I said that, okay, I have to develop some projects on the link between biodiversity and health, and Southeast Asia is especially important. After Thailand, but Thailand is also an important place in Southeast Asia. It's really between Indochina and the south of Southeast Asia. It's also a good place for universities in terms of research activities. It's also a place that is really a key actor in terms of public health, on the one health, and animal health. That's why I think that if we have to base some activities, regional activities, we should be there in Thailand and work with Thai partners. And I would say that it works quite well. Now I have a very strong relationship on activities with the Ministry of Public Health of Thailand, especially the Department of Disease Control, but also a good relationship, work very well with the livestock department and also the disease of animal health. Good relationship also with the Department of National Parks in Thailand that are involved in the surveillance of the wildlife, especially for the avian flu. So this is a good place where we can really connect animal health, public health, and environmental health, so with biodiversity, and really it's, I can say that is a really successful, and we want really to continue because we explore a lot of important questions that have also this importance regionally for Southeast Asia, but internationally. I have to say that the more and the more I'm getting older, the more and the more I am interested in science, and the more and the more I am happy with the science and the projects we are doing. And I think now I'm completely, I would say, excited by the project now we are doing in Thailand, and thanks again with the support of the TICA, the Thai International Cooperation Agency, thanks again by the support of the local communities in Santong, in Nan, the dispensary, the public health, the national park of the Department of National Parks of Thailand, and the Nonthaburi National Parks, but also the livestock department, all of these people. And it's completely incredible what we can start to, when I told to other people what we can implement. Now we are doing an important project about coronavirus, about these emerging diseases. But the best way not to look at what kind of things could be emerged, but how the process, how this interface between the humans, the local communities, between their livestock, between their dogs, between the wildlife, the bats, the rodents, the other wildlife, all together, working together, living together. They are sharing the common places, they are sharing some interest, but also they are sharing microbes, they are sharing viruses. Sometimes they are sick, people, livestock, dogs, even bats or other animals. We have to understand a little bit this kind of sharing epidemiology of disease, ecology of disease. And now I'm very excited, I'm completely proud of this project. When we learn about the knowledge of local people in terms of ecology, in terms of their practices, in terms of the way that they are also take care about their animal health. They know the wildlife, they know they also involve in the protection of the wildlife because of their knowledge. And all of these people, and especially the volunteers, now we are doing a project that I'm very proud of this, and I'm very exciting of this. And thanks again of the support of Kasetsart University, veterinary technology, but I have forgot to mention the Faculty of Forestry, the Faculty of Computer Engineering, and the Faculty of Social Sciences, that we have really good friends and important collaborators and students of these faculties that are involved all together in this project with the community engagement of Sentong sub-district. So at the moment we have several projects running on. One big project concerns Southeast Asia, and thanks to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, we are just launching a project on the One Health in practice in Southeast Asia. And we have the chance to have the big support of the French Embassy and the big support of the Ministry of Public Health of Thailand. And soon we will have in November a high-level meeting between France and the Ministry of Public Health regarding the One Health. This is really important. And with this we are going on with this regional aspect. And Thailand is really important, because I have to say Thailand is a hub for the One Health, and it will help a lot of this with the coordination unit One Health in Thailand, with the Thailand One Health organization for a network of universities, the Thai OUN, and with the Mekong Basin Disease Surveillance, also with the CDC Thailand. So we have this project that is very fascinating, putting all several sectors on thinking about implementing One Health in Thailand, with the support of the French Ministry of Foreign Affairs, but of course with all the ongoing One Health initiatives by the ASEAN, also by the other European, from the United States of America, CDC, and all other organizations or international organizations. In Thailand, we have several projects going on, especially on the One Health, on antimicrobial resistance, on coronaviruses, on dogs and disease in dogs, especially with colleagues from CIRAD or colleagues from IRD. All the time what we try to do is to implement these projects that are by several funders in one sub-district. In the district of Tawangpa, but in the sub-district in Sentong. Why? Because we have already this community engagement. So try to make in practice these projects together with the local administration, together with the village volunteers. And this is very important. So we participate to the activities of these village volunteers, but we have also with the village heads, with the Oboto, with the public administration, with the dispensaries, we have the feedback, and we have their own visions, which make us to adapt and to fulfill the project with their own needs. And I think this is a way also, and it's very also exciting and very important to develop what we can say with one of my colleagues of CIRAD, to develop One Health in healthy territories. And this is what we can do in Thailand. And I would say that what we are doing in Thailand, this project in the sub-district, I could not do that in France. Impossible. It's too complicated. But here, you can do. Why? Because you have all the way to work in communities. You have this community engagement. You have the One Health impact assessment, the environmental impact assessment. You have the way that is working with the public health and the animal health and the organization of the local governance. We learn from this, we learn from each other, and we are producing good research, high impact research, but we have also high impact in terms of the communities, and internationally these projects are very relevant.